Evening, this is Lynx. I've got another quick exercise for you guys to do. Sometimes we set it up or set up situations where we create an obstacle for ourselves and we don't even realize that we're creating the obstacle for ourselves. We think we're setting up something that will determine a success, but in actuality all it does is it sets a big obstacle for us. For example, when we say, I need to be able to get this promotion or this relationship or win this contest or get this goal in order for me to be satisfied, in order for me to feel validated, in order for me to feel whatever. So it's one of those where we set it up, I need to have X in order for me to have Y. And in some cases, it could be the case. Okay, it could be that is the way it is, and you've set it up that way, or it is that way, and you know something. You get X, and then suddenly Y happens for you. What happens a lot of times is it sets up a sort of excuse. So if I get this, then I'll be able to have this. But what happens is the subconscious is really tricky. Sometimes we'll say, if I can just win this or get this or do this, then this will all be all right. And what happens is we sabotage the X so we don't have to face the Y, because the situation that we're in is one that we're comfortable in because we're used to it. I know that sounds twisted, but it is how the human mind works sometimes. So what you're going to do here is, what limit am I setting on myself? So you ask yourself, so you wake up, and maybe this is one that you do for maybe a month. The last video I showed you how to do something every day. Well, this maybe you do this for a few weeks and you watch for this. So what situation am I setting up as a condition for something else that I don't really need? So if you say, well, I need X, I need to win this contest, I need to get this goal, I need to have this prize, I need to make a certain amount of money, I need to have this car, whatever it is, and then I'll feel secure. If I just take this class, I'll feel secure. If I just get this relationship, then I'll be okay. Okay? So you ask, what is it? So what's the condition I'm setting up in order for me to have this supposed other thing that I don't need to be doing? So in other words, usually in those cases, you have that thing anyway, you just don't recognize it. So for example, if you're like, if I just get this job, then I'll be secure, then I'll be validated. And the fact is then I'll know that I'm really good. But what happens is in most of those cases, even when the person gets the thing, then they still have self-doubt. So, and that's a really classic one. If I just achieve this goal, all my self-doubts will be gone. And in a lot of cases, what happens is either they get the goal and then they still have the self-doubts, they get the relationship and they still have the self-doubts, or something happens and they sabotage it, or they miss it, or they don't get it, and then it's a justification to continue with the behavior that is causing them the problems to begin with. So what's the condition I'm setting up, you say? So you tell yourself, what's the condition I'm setting up? And then you do this. And then we do the same thing we did in the last video. So we look at it, okay? So in this case, it's the Queen of Spears. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna do the same thing we did in the last. So, and then you're going to look at it and you're going to just take a deep breath in. You're going to relax. And you're going to take in this quality. Just like we did in the last week. You're just going to take in the quality. You're not going to necessarily be concerned about the traditional meaning. That can come into it later. That's fine if it comes into it later. But just for now, you're just going to use this as a thing to get a quality. What do you get off of it? Let it sort of wash over you, and then you get a sense of what it makes you feel. And I don't mean emotionally. I just mean there's a sensation that you get, and it's sort of like a texture or a quality, and you feel it somewhere, and you feel it, right? And then you let it And then what happens is that you set it aside, and then you wait until that quality or whatever it is triggers. It may come a day, 2 days, whatever. And then when that happens, you become aware of whatever the condition is you're saying needs to be in place in order for the other thing to come. And what this is going to be telling you is that it's false, that you've actually set that up erroneously, that you've actually told yourself you need this in order to get that. And when you feel that, and that triggers, that's the thing that's false. So you ask yourself, what condition have I set up erroneously or falsely to tell myself that I need this for something else? So you watch for what it is. You be going through your day, you be going through your week, you be going through a couple of weeks, and all of a sudden you get a sense of the card again. Either the image or the feeling or the whatever, and you go. And then you become aware at that moment that this thing that you're setting is this thing that you've got to have is something you've set up falsely in your life. And at that moment, you have a decision to make. You can either drop it, you can tell yourself you don't need it, or you can just become aware of the fact that this is something that you set up that you don't need. You set it up falsely. And that, I guarantee you, if that's the case, that other thing is probably something you already have or is right within reach. You're just choosing not to take it for whatever reason. And that's a whole other story, though. So try it, see how it works. People responded to the last exercise, the last video, very well. So I thought I'd give you another one in this case. I've been wanting to address this particular subject for a while with folks. See how it works. And those of you, if you have a condition like that and it's difficult and it's involved and you want a reading, you can schedule one with me. We can set it up. We can look at what the conditions are, what the if and then or the X, the Y, whatever it is, and how that may be getting in your way. But for those of you who want to try it. Give yourself, try it, take the exercise, see what it is. And you'll learn something about yourself, and you'll learn that this thing that you think you need is actually you setting an obstacle in your way for whatever reason. And don't judge the reason. Don't judge yourself any more than you already do. Just become aware that, oh wait, this is a condition I'm setting in my life. I say I need this for this, and it's not the case. I'm Lucky Lynx, as always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. If you want to get a reading from me, or schedule a virtual class, or register for a virtual class, 779-302-8009. Or email me, conjurehope@gmail.com. If you want to take a virtual class, an online class, I have several of those going. I've got a Lenormand class, I've got a tarot class, crystal ball class, playing card class, and soon there will be a Lotteria class. And soon there will also be a Grand Tableau class, a Lenormand Tableau class, Grand Tableau class. So try it. Tell me how you guys do. Tell me what happens. Tell me if it resonates with you. And again, sometimes the things that we set up for ourselves that we think we need are really an excuse or an obstacle that we're putting in the way of something we already have anyway. So hopefully, you'll try this exercise and you'll find out that maybe some obstacles that you've been setting in your way, you don't really even need.